I received this a couple of days ago. Couldn't get to my postal then post office box. October the 19th, 2015. It's a letter from Christy McCoy, the manager at Scott Hill Retirement, which is elderly retirement. And if anybody's listened to what I've said in the past, my goodness, I can't get an attorney, and I've done everything in the book. I'm allergic to chemicals, and when I am made run with chemicals, and that's what Carl Barton, the retired Virginia State Trooper's wife, said to me. Well, I knew it anyway, but people can always dismiss it. Oh, I don't believe our government's doing things like this. In other words, call me a liar. So I've put so much up here on Facebook, Instagram, and on videos, and it's really a nightmare because when I'm force-fed toxic fumes, it tears me apart, my body, the liver, kidneys, every organ in your body. But it makes you immune system attack itself, and you get so sick. And over time, it just kills you. But anyway, when it's deliberately done, and I won't get into uh, my writing a book and all that. What I want to say on this about, and it was about mind control and flown out to Flint's because he was shot and all that. Don't mean to dismiss him, but really wanted to do this and get this up. They were doing murders that are in patterns, long time ago. Uh, and I kept on, I was trying to write about it, got a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. So then you had one of the doctors I wrote about, who was a U.S. congressman, Larry McDonald, and a doctor at Piedmont Hospital. I wrote about him. So that gets into his plane went down, the Russian shot it down, it veered in there, all that. I put it up here. What I want to say is they've run me with chemicals, and they get things on people, and believe me, to get them to help them, the agency that's doing it. And it's not that people don't believe me; they're afraid of it, or they make deals to keep their kids from going to jail for drug, or you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not mentioning Corpus Wheat in every place I've stayed, and that's really it. I've lived in the woods, forestry, and frozen, starved, everything. My jobs were shut down, all of it. What I wanted to get to was the 4 HUD. This is low income. I barely make it each month. Sometimes I don't really. And I'd gone to the forest then, or when the chemicals got so I couldn't stand it. So the first one that I went to was Edinburgh back in '06. Stayed there 6 months, was soaked in chemicals. Nobody did a thing. I had to break the lease. And that's what begins making you look so bad, too. You have to break a lease. So I left there, and the next one I went to, and there's an agent. The only time I've gotten these is an agent was there. So went to Richfield and went in there, and I really thought it was pretty. Nice, had a pond and all this fish. Well, I stayed, I don't know, I think 2.5 weeks, and months, and it just about killed me. Broke another lease, and I'm leaving out all the crap that went on there, believe me. So I left, and then was denied entrance again. Couldn't give a reason when I kept trying. The same lady got promoted, by the way, that helped cause all this out there at Richfield. And when I emailed trying to fill out an application, or she put it on spam mail. So this is what me being kept homeless. And anyway, anybody can imagine. So here is where really Scott Hill supported me, even though they did all this. I left because there was mold. I mean black mold. It was all over. I've told they did everything awful. But at least the mold I could get pictures of in the air conditioning unit. You could take the top off. It was horrible. It was an antiquated one. So anyway, I left, went back because they promised to fix it. They didn't. So I was there from the 15th of July till I gave notice supposed to leave on the 7th. I actually left on the 5th of October. So they had my deposit and everything. Here I'm breaking the lease, and here's what I wanted to get to also. Scott Hill, they used my son's Mark and Scott's names in murders and then patterns. So Scott Hill, using my son Scott's name. And right here, you're eligible for a refund of your deposit following a 30-day notice. Well, they had told me when I went in, when I signed the lease, that that's all I needed to do was give a 30-day notice. Well, then they changed it to know that the lease I signed was a year lease and then a 30-day notice. So I thought they threatened with repercussions if I broke the lease. So I thought, my God, they can go after what little money I get. And this breaking the lease, you won't hear the truth of this. So here's what it came down to. I had all that on film, video, but she gave me my deposit back, and then she said it's a 30-day deposit, which they don't normally give with HUD. It's normally a year. But I was trying to tell them that, and they were telling me, no, it was a year. So they really gave me crap there at the end. And now then I got a letter supporting it was a 30-day, and then I get the deposit back. And so that means maybe they don't come after me for a year money, since it's all settled. It was 30-day lease, gave me money back. Here it said that I left the little apartment all in good condition. So they gave me an okay there. For all this other slam dunking and lying about me. Here's a statement of condition that she did, and about sending me, oh, I thought this was cute. This is going to go off. She said the reason for my leaving, terminating the lease, was I wasn't satisfied. Well, you know, here's where I could say, no, I wasn't. When you are force-fed in a small little room apartment, tiny, but I was so glad to get it from where I've had to live, it's got mold and mildew coming right at you, and I was told that and had all the pictures. And I can't tell some things they did. You know, you can't film it, and I'm not going to tell it. So to say I wasn't satisfied is kind of like the sick joke, you know. But the rest of it, they, in essence, they really okayed. If you followed me, what I was saying, I've been run from to where I'd have to break a lease and they could come after my money, besides being soaked in chemicals and killing me every step of the way. So I don't know if this is ever, I lived through it, and this is ever told in a court of law, because there's a lot more to it. Being kidnapped, all the murders that happened using mind control and in patterns. But I'm going to go, and right now where I'm living, you shouldn't have chemicals, freezing, and I was just moved into this apartment or room, and I moved the night before last, and I can't even walk now, so it's almost paralyzed me. So I hope it gets better, or I don't know.